Sunday 29th of May in my coolest apiary. And when I say coolest, I kind of mean also coldest. And the bees that winter here don't have that much shelter from the north. The apiary is just over there. You can imagine what that's like when there's no leaves on the trees, and that's kind of wide open here. And they've got shelters, but they're sheltered on the south. And so what I've found over some years is that the bees here always winter the slowest. And it seems like winter here lasts a couple of weeks longer for them, because when the winds are blowing from the north and they don't get much sun, because even without the leaves there's enough a block from the trees to keep the sun off the front of the hives. It just takes them longer to get going. And so you've got to factor that in to what they might look like in the spring, and also what you have to be aware of the fact that in the spring, the colonies that have wintered in 5/5s, you can look at them one week and think, okay, they've got some space, they've got some time, and then you can come back another week and be surprised by how much has happened. So that's what I'm kind of going to show you this morning, and this is kind of in relation to a question I got from Facebook James. And Facebook James, he said, how do you know when your 5-frame nuke is too packed? How do you know it's going to turn into swarm mode? And long and the shorter answer is, well, I never give a short answer, but the very short answer is I don't overwinter 5-frame nukes because of that reason, because they can explode so quickly that you don't have a buffer of time. But you do have more a buffer of time in the 5/5 frames. So these 5/5 frames were slower than the others in the apiary. But I know it's the same stock, I know it's the same queen, and the individual conditions can be different, and so it's important to keep records. So this box 122/67, if I go back to my records, it overwintered. It weighed 69 pounds when I weighed it in October, and then when I weighed it on March the 15th, it was 53 pounds, and then I had to leave it alone. Now you will note that the couple next to it, to the right of it, they died out. Now, did they die out because they got even less sun, or what? I'm not sure. But I lost just 4 out of 19 of the 5/5s in this apiary, and it's consistently tougher here for the bees. But it is such a beautiful place and such a privilege to keep bees on somebody else's land, to enjoy somebody else's land. It's lovely, and the people that own this are like naturalists and keep out as a hobby and plant native plants, and it's just a paradise. But let me get back to the bees. So when I couldn't get into the bees in April like I would like to, and when I got into the bees in May the 11th, I saw that they just had 1 frame of seal brood, and they were just venturing into the bottom box, and I estimated that they needed a brood cycle, and so I left them alone. And so now it's from May the 11th to May the 29th. That's 18 days. That's almost a brood cycle. So let's show you what's going on and how I judge a colony when it's ready to move along. So in the 5/5 configuration, and they'll put wax between them, you're basically dealing with 5 very deep frames. And so what I like to see is, if I see that the bees are all the way down to the bottom of this, then I know they need a little time. They haven't completely filled the cavity. So the quickest way to do that is just to give it a little smoke and have a look. Little smoke. move my record aside. I have a spare box here. You can see some drone larvae that got kicked out when I separated this. So a quick look tells you they put drones there. Now if they put the drones there, it means for sure they have brood to the bottom of the combs here. They don't run down and suddenly start making drones. You'll see some caps, queen cups I should say, some queen cups. And so if I leave them here, they'll want to swarm if you don't do anything, because that's what bees do. It's their prize for overwintering. So let's see how much farther they go down the box. So you can see they're covering the frames here, and if they're below on the box, you can see that there's some burr comb on the bottom, but there's not and there's a few cups, but there's not drones on the bottom of here. If there's drones on the bottom of the box, it's a key sign that they've absolutely filled the box, they've packed the box, and if they haven't already started to make queen cells, they will. And you have to bear in mind that when bees are lined up in brood cells, they're packed like cordwood, side by side. It's like you laying as many people as you could fit in the bed side by side with your arms right by your side. But when you all got out, walked around, you'd take up more space. So what I'm going to do is, it's time for me to move them along. So I'm going to give them a drone frame and put them in the box. The drone frame will help put them in the box, put them in the deep box, because the drone frame will help, will give them a place to make drones because they want to make drones. And then spreading them across the box instead of having them in a skinny frame vertically, that will allow them to it will dissuade them, hopefully, from swarming for a little while. And when I come back later today, I can put an excluder and a medium super on and make honey. Or if I was trying to draw comb, I could put a box of deep comb on and work away on that. But let's see if I can show you how these look in the frames. Now the bees in my other apiaries, they were a little further ahead because they're warmer. But I go through the same process when I want to see if they're ready for a customer. So I'm going to end the video soon, but you can just see they filled the box to the bottom. They emerged, and you probably can't see it very easily here, but there's fresh, oh, you might be able to with a light. There's fresh eggs in the top of this box, and this will work. And now putting this brood, spreading this brood across, you can't do this when it's really cold, because it chills the brood too much. It's not advisable. But when you spread the brood across the top of the frame like that, across the box, and there is no honey and no place for honey at the top, and then you put a super on, that makes them realize, hey, maybe we shouldn't swarm yet because we've got stuff to do. So there's another one. And we'll take the take this frame, and I've got, so because I've got 9, I'll have to, because I've got, you can't fit 11 frames in this box, and there's 10 of these frames, so I have to find a frame that I could take away. This is a nice frame of stores. It was in the bottom, some honey on the outside, so that's going to stay. One-handed beekeeping. That's what would happen. You've been up dropping your bees. That's not good. And it was just storming. We had a storm roll through, so not many are flying. So I'm getting the foragers, and they're not happy. A little bit of drone. Oh, there's the queen. Look how beautiful she is. Busy as a bee. Oh, oh, oh. So, what about this frame? Is this the one we discard? Possibly. Nope, brood on the outside, can't lose that one. But I'll move it to the outside because it's got a smaller patch of brood. Then we'll go to the other box. See what's going on in here. Excuse me a second. Same thing going on. They emerged and they're still maturing on the outside, and the center ones have been filled, so that can go in. Let's have a look at this one. Pattern of brood, pretty good. The joy of this combination is it really, this of 5/5, it really is a very efficient way for the bees to raise brood. And that's why I continue to advocate for it. Squish them along this way. Actually, if you remember, I said that was the weakest frame of brood, so I'll put that there. I think that's what I said. Some drones, some brood. More brood. Yep, so this box can make some honey. So what about this frame? What we got here? Well, this is a good frame of honey. So I'm going to keep that one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that frame that had the least amount of brood on it. I'm going to shake the bees off it and give that to another colony. I'm going to leave this box with it'll be about 1.5 frames total, 2 frames of honey at the very most, and then they're ready to go. But that's basically the process. Sorry about the one-handed video, but I don't have 3 arms. Thank you, said James. You're welcome.